Hello Libra, welcome to your eclipse season reading. So let's see what's coming up for you during this eclipse season. We do have a partial solar eclipse in Scorpio, roughly around 2 degrees of Scorpio. And it's not impacting you in any kind of way except for the fact that you could have planets in Scorpio, you could have rising sign, moon sign, whatever, if you have anything in there. And also this is conjunct the goddess Venus, which is your ruler. So you could have an indirect effect through the Venus side. So for you, it could impact you in your relationships, in the harmony and the connection you have with others. But usually this being conjunct the goddess Venus, and also the next eclipse, the lunar eclipse, will be also ruled by Venus. So there's a lot of Venusian themes with this that have to do with specifically value, how we value ourselves, the value we put on things, on other people, the relationship we have with the things in our lives, how we harmonize, how we balance things. All those things could show up during this time. So let's see for you, Libra. Let's ask the Oracle, what kind of themes should you expect during this eclipse? Got the water element. So the depth of your emotions are also in focus right now. This is about intuition, navigating the landscape of your emotions. It could also be, what I got for you, some sudden emotional outburst, but not like in a bad way. It's for a Libra, you tend to be quite cerebral and quite detached when it comes to emotions. But there could be some kind of a subtle emotional something showing up during this eclipse. You know, it's almost like your emotions are being awakened, or because Scorpio is a water sign, is quite a deep one, so it's something is waking up in your emotions, or you're being pulled under somehow to actually look at your emotions instead of just kind of being you know, all airy in your head kind of thing. And no judgment, I'm an air sign, so I totally know how that's like. But sometimes I do get pulled under by water, and you know, I have a water rising, so that's probably why. But you know, sometimes we do get pulled under to kind of look at the deeper things, you know, not from just an intellectual level. You could also be challenged to connect to people on an emotional level during this time, especially with the Scorpio energy, because where Scorpio is where you merge with another person on a very deep level, on a very emotional level, on a very cathartic kind of, you know, being deep into each other kind of thing, that sort of thing. So it's, yeah, I feel like that could be somewhat of a challenging situation for you, Libra. I don't know. We'll see what else comes up for you. Oh, you've got two. You've got Libra and the air element. How interesting. See how beautiful the universe orchestrates things? It's just exactly what I've been saying so far. Here you are in the middle here, trying to balance out your emotions with your intellect in a very beautiful, harmonious way. But I do feel like this has something strongly to do with a relationship that's prominent for you. That could be the case. I mean, if you're not in a relationship, you could be in one during this time, you know. But there's a very strong emphasis here on you connecting with others from a emotional level, but also on a more superficial level, which is the air element. Okay, You've got sensing, communicating. Perhaps for some of you, you're trying to communicate how you feel towards another, or, just in general, perhaps you're trying to discipline yourself to be more expressive with your emotions, with how you feel. Okay. Obviously the moon is involved in this eclipse, so your innermost being is brought into focus here as well through the moon side. So that's a very watery energy, and Libra is very airy, very, trying to balance everything out, trying to be fair, trying to be considerate of other people. And I feel like the way you're going to be considerate towards other people right now is to be a little bit more expressive with how you feel. Not just about them specifically, but for you to be expressive in a sense of expressing what you like, for example, expressing what you love to do, being more open. That's what I want to say. Being more open, but not from like a really superficial level, from a deeper level is what I want to say. And it's interesting that you've got your own energy showing up here. Okay, so let's get you some tarot to see what else we can get from this story here to complement these energies. Let me see. So please tell us more information about Libra and what they're going through during these eclipses. I will try to do a lunar eclipse reading in Taurus, but we'll see if I have the time and the freedom to do so. But let's see, what else for Libra, please? Hopefully you can see these. Okay, maybe move them up a bit. It's a lot of earthy energy here for you, Libra. I do feel like the idea of commitment is showing up here with this Hierophant. But it's not to a relationship. It's not commitment to another person. Now, for some of you, it could be. But I feel like, the theme of commitments showing up in your tarot quite significantly. You've got the Hierophant and the Seven of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. The earth element itself is a very committed type of element. It's it means endurance, durability, that test of time. The earth element is quite stable and it tends to see things through. So I feel like this theme of you, perhaps you're starting something here with the Page of Pentacles, and it's the idea of seeing it through to the end, okay? To grow from a page, it takes you through the Seven of Pentacles, through the King of Pentacles, okay? So there's like a gradual thing going on here. This could be about your finances. You could be committing to a new way of earning money. Perhaps you're planting some seed here, or you're getting some help perhaps to advance something, to to become stable, to become abundant here. Okay. And also with the Hierophant is the idea of what you are committed to. Okay, it's kind of interesting. It shows up with this water element here. You've got water and earth here, which are complementary type of energies. The earth needs water to grow. So if we're looking into that archetype, what you need to make things grow, whether this is a relationship, a project, whatever endeavors you find yourself into, you need to kind of put your emotions into it. Okay, you need um, to feel what you're doing. Okay, that commitment, it comes with a subtle feeling. You know, when you're committed to something, it feels different than when you're just doing things because, I don't know, it just needs to be done, let's say. There's a commitment here to something very important to you. Okay. Um, I mean, that could have something to do with money. There's nothing wrong with that. You can commit yourself with all you have to making money. That's absolutely fine. I love money. Everybody loves money. So you're committing to that, but it's coming from a different place this time around. You're being more serious about it, I would say. For some of you, there's also the question to, what do I commit to? Okay, there's also this side of this reading where there are things that are obvious to you and there are things that are not obvious to you. It does sort of feel like there's one part of your life where you're pretty certain of yourself. You understand the mechanics of that particular area of your life, but there's some other parts of it that are quite, like, you just don't know. You don't know what's out there, or you don't have all the information, or there's something that you need to think about, or there's something you need to put consistent work into, because you're kind of like, it's not that you lack confidence, it's more so like you need to work consistently on something. There's a sense of taking your time, or thinking about it, or discerning about it. Okay, this moon is like right in the middle of the deck and right in the middle of the spread here. It does seem like you're being challenged to navigate your emotions or your intuition, because there's a very powerful combination here of Hierophant, the moon, and the King of Pentacles. It's like you need to combine the things that you know they work with the things that are a little bit more subtle. There could be like intuition that is subtle to you, for you to understand how to do things, or where to go, or something like that. I hope that makes sense, because the way the message is coming through is a little bit fuzzy. The best way I can explain it, that you need to combine intuition, because it's showing up in your oracle cards as well, to combine your intuition with what you know, with the intelligence and the practicality and the education perhaps that you received about something, because it's a little bit overlapped here. The Hierophant and the Page of Pentacles is with the water element, while that air element comes with the King of Pentacles and the Four of Swords. So there's a weird interplay and overlapping energies here of, you have education and you have things that you know how to do, but there's also things that you need to navigate with your intuition, okay, if that makes sense. And there's like a weird balance between the two. That's the best way I can explain it. So I don't know what this pertains to. It could be a relationship for some of you, but I'm not seeing other cards to indicate that here. It could be about something you're doing currently in your life where you don't know how to implement, or to blend your intuition with what you know, with your intelligence, with something like that. It's coming through here. I know it sounds kind of vague, but it's just the best way I can explain it. And again, the earth element seems to be prominent here. For some of you, you're dealing with a Taurus, specifically if this is a person. But if not, it sort of feels like you are trying to build something here, to commit to something. Okay, I don't feel like this is another person. I feel like you're committed to your well-being, to your abundance. You're trying to put your energy into something. But it also seems like you may need to think things more, okay, with the Four of Swords and the air element. We also have communication here, which is interesting because the Four of Swords usually indicates not saying anything, not communicating. So perhaps for some of you, I would just throw it out there, you may need to keep your plans to yourself, okay, to not speak too much of it, because if you do have some plan here, or perhaps you're trying to build something into your life, perhaps it'd be a good idea to not say much about it, or perhaps to consider things very profoundly before you put your energy into something, because like I said at the beginning, the idea of commitment shows up here. And it does seem like you need to think things through before you commit to something, to a particular path. And that may come up during this eclipse where some kind of a new opportunity is showing up here, but you need to consider it very carefully, because this is some kind of a long-term commitment to you, okay? If you're committing to a business, for example, or you're committing to a person, this is something you need to think about it very, very strongly, okay? With the Seven of Pentacles and the Four of Swords, this is someone is contemplating where to plant their seeds, what to commit to. And the way you find out how you commit is somehow through your emotions, through your intuition, because you also have the moon here. Some of you might have moon in Scorpio, or you might have moon in Libra or something like that, where that's triggered, okay? Your intuition is being triggered during this eclipse. I'm not saying Libras are not intuitive, but generally Libras don't rely on their intuition when they're making decisions. They rely on their intellect very heavily. They rely on also feedback from other people. But during this eclipse for you, Libra specifically, you're being challenged to be guided by your own intuition, and to take your commitment seriously. And because you need to take your commitment seriously, you need to think about it very deeply, what to commit to or who to commit to. Now, you might be getting some feedback from the outside, but I actually don't see it here. Now, for some of you, like I said, you could be dealing with a person here that is giving you some feedback when it comes to your business or your business dealings, or, you know, work, finances, things like that. But your commitment is going to be tied up to something related to your intuition, where you're guided intuitively, and also balancing that out with the realistic and practical side of things. So there's a strange interplay here of walking that fine line between intuition and practicality, and blending that with what you know. You know what I'm getting from this reading, Libra? Somebody that is business savvy, okay? You could be someone that is business savvy, that not only knows what they know because they've learned things with the Hierophant, they also know how to make things grow, they know how to make things work. But there's also this sense of you using your intuition into this particular business situation, if it's a business situation. You know, there's something subtle here that is blended into this, okay? Now, some of you with this moon being here, you could be confused about where to plant your seeds, okay? And like I mentioned before, there's some deliberation and some thinking that needs to happen here before you do. I will clarify the Seven of Pentacles, because I feel like there's a bit of confusion here about what's going on, okay? We've got the Four Wands that fell on the floor. So I would say if some of you were questioning whether or not to invest in something, the answer is yes. I got a yes with this Four of Wands because it did fell in the upright. I checked to see for sure. If you're questioning whether or not you should keep putting work into something with the Seven of Pentacles. Perhaps you're confused of whether or not this situation will grow. You've got another 4 here, which indicates stability. Either you're searching for stability, you want stability, because you also have the earth element here. Again, it's a very stable energy. With the 4 of Wands, there's a yes here to something, okay, especially if this is a relationship or perhaps some sort of a coming together with someone, or, you know, partnerships of some sort. It does seem like there is some success here happening, but it's not, you know, the 4 of Wands is not like a major success, but it's something. It's like you're getting an encouragement of some sort to go on a specific path. So pay attention to that. I feel like there's going to be some sort of a sign for you, Libra, because I'm just kind of looking at these doves here, and I kind of see them as good omens when white doves come around. So it could be some kind of an omen to you here that is going to tell you whether or not to go on a specific direction or not. I do want to see this 4 of Swords real quick. Yeah, you're definitely in decision mode here. You're trying to decide something. Something related to this King of Pentacles. You also have more swords here, which is the air element. I don't know if you're not communicating with someone right now. Because you have 4 swords and the 2 of swords, it does seem like you're closed off to something here. I'm not sure what this is exactly. It might not be related to this business situation or, you know, whatever you're doing. But if this is a relationship or a specific person, I do see you not communicating with this person and being closed off to them. But with the 2 of swords and the 4 of swords, this to me indicates a rather difficult decision you need to make about something. So it's some sort of a decision that's happening for you during this eclipse where you're really, really taking your time to think about it. And while you're thinking about it, I do see you being quite detached and closed off to other people, okay, or other people's input, or if this is a specific person, I see you being very detached from this person's life. You know, there's no interaction whatsoever. And it's kind of interesting, you have communicating here. So there could be something here about communication with someone that is closed or, you know, blocked or something. Keep in mind though, you are being called to use your emotional side as well here, not just your intellectual side to make decisions. That's probably the biggest thing you can take from this reading, that you need to use your intuition and the things that you know to make decisions. Okay. So overall, it's a beautiful reading. I mean, there's a little bit of confusion here, and there's a little bit of perhaps feeling stuck in a situation with this 2 of swords and the 4 of swords. I feel like you're being stuck deciding on something or someone specifically. But I also see you having some success, some small successes happening here is what I see in some endeavor of yours. Okay. So weird balancing act for you, Libra, which is, you know, you're in your element, and weird balancing acts, that is. So I wish you the best with all of this, and we'll speak soon. Take care. Bye.